William didn't know that Harry and Meghan had already recorded their poison for Netflix. It was already edited.
Is Prince Harry secretly plotting a return to the royal family? The same family he once publicly scorched in interviews, books, and documentaries? Just when you thought the Sussex drama couldn't get any messier, explosive reports have emerged suggesting Harry is quietly testing the waters, hoping to slip back into Buckingham Palace on his own controversial terms. But after years of airing royal secrets and turning personal betrayals into blockbuster deals, is there any way back for the prince who abandoned the crown? Or has Harry finally crossed a line from which there's no return? Prince Harry isn't exactly known for subtlety. After spilling the royal family's deepest secrets in books and documentaries, you'd think returning to Buckingham Palace would be the last thing on his mind. But investigative author Tom Bower recently dropped a bombshell, revealing that Harry might quietly be plotting a comeback, one he hopes will merge royal duty with Hollywood glamour. According to Bower, Harry has been discreetly sending feelers through palace aides, testing the waters for an unprecedented role. A part-time prince who keeps one foot in Hollywood and the other in royal traditions. It's a scenario that's never been seen before in royal history. A hybrid position, granting Harry all the perks of royalty without the responsibilities. Insiders say these covert communications suggest Harry isn't interested in simply mending fences. He's eyeing a position that lets him retain the royal mystique while maintaining the freedom of a celebrity lifestyle. It's a calculated move, one born not from nostalgia or family devotion, but from necessity. With Spotify pulling the plug on their multi-million-dollar deal and Netflix reportedly reconsidering future collaborations, Harry and Meghan's once glittering empire seems increasingly shaky. Sources close to the situation suggest Harry views royal connections as a golden lifeline, an asset to revive their dwindling fortunes. But this controversial return plan has sparked outrage behind palace doors. Royals and insiders alike question Harry's sincerity, believing this so-called return might simply be a desperate PR stunt, a last-ditch effort from a prince who might just be running out of options. Buckingham Palace isn't exactly rolling out the welcome mat for Prince Harry's surprising comeback scheme. In fact, according to insider whispers, palace corridors are practically echoing with disdain. Prince William, once Harry's closest confidant, reportedly considers the whole idea a manipulative PR stunt, nothing more than an attempt to salvage the Sussex brand after years of controversies. Palace aides say William has made it crystal clear. Trust between the brothers isn't just fractured, it's shattered beyond repair. The tension isn't limited to William, though. Senior palace staff, who once managed Harry's every public appearance and private detail, now refuse to even speak his name openly. Instead, they reportedly call him the former, highlighting the harsh reality of his current status, a ghost haunting the institution he once proudly represented. Queen Camilla has also drawn a hard line. After enduring decades of negative headlines, Harry's explosive memoir, Spare, depicting her as a manipulative force within the family, was the final straw. Insiders reveal she's urged King Charles to keep the palace doors firmly shut, warning that welcoming Harry back would unleash chaos and undermine years of careful rebuilding of the monarchy's image. For the palace, Harry's return isn't just unpopular, it's untenable. Staff, royals, and aides have united with a simple, unwavering message. Loyalty matters above all. And after publicly setting the royal family ablaze for global entertainment, Harry might find the bridges he burned are beyond repair, especially when the palace itself is determined to keep them that way. The bond between Prince William and Prince Harry was once seen as unbreakable, strengthened by shared tragedies and royal pressures. But now, that brotherhood lies shattered, possibly beyond repair. Harry's explosive memoir, Spare, didn't merely expose private family moments. It weaponized them, casting William as aggressive and hostile. These shocking allegations didn't just damage reputations. They cut deeply into the emotional fabric of their relationship, turning a personal rift into a public spectacle. Sources close to William reveal that he feels deeply betrayed, not just because Harry aired their grievances, but because he twisted deeply personal memories into lucrative headlines. The older prince has reportedly instructed palace aides to never again entertain discussions about reconciling with Harry. For William, trust isn't simply damaged, it's completely destroyed. replaced with suspicion and disappointment. This isn't about petty sibling rivalry, it's about protecting the royal family's integrity. William reportedly sees Harry's potential return not as an olive branch, but as another calculated move, a desperate grab for relevance at the expense of family stability. Palace insiders claim William believes that welcoming Harry back, even on a limited basis, would irreparably damage the monarchy's credibility. The stark reality is clear. William isn't just hurt, he's determined. He sees no room for compromise, no chance for reconciliation, not after Harry weaponized their personal bond for public gain. Once viewed as the inseparable duo, William and Harry now stand on opposite sides of a divide so vast, many believe it can never be bridged again. Queen Camilla has always weathered storms, quietly overcoming decades of scrutiny and scandal to finally establish herself as a respected royal figure. But Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, didn't just reopen old wounds. It went further, portraying Camilla as conniving, manipulative, and ruthless. It was a direct and deeply personal attack that didn't just offend Camilla, it infuriated her. Insiders reveal Camilla isn't simply annoyed, she's determined to prevent Harry's return at all costs. Behind closed palace doors, she's reportedly taken a firm and uncompromising stance, warning King Charles that allowing Harry back would be tantamount to inviting chaos. Her concern isn't just personal. She views Harry's potential return as a threat to the stability and public trust she's worked tirelessly to rebuild. Camilla's stance is more than symbolic. It's strategic. Palace insiders confirm she's quietly rallied key allies within the monarchy, ensuring there's a unified front against any moves to welcome Harry back into the royal fold. Sources say her message is unequivocal. This isn't about forgiveness. It's about respect for the institution and the hard-won dignity it demands. For Camilla, the betrayal is irreversible. Having spent decades working to shift public opinion in her favor, she won't allow Harry's controversial brand to undermine that progress. She sent a powerful message to the entire royal establishment. Loyalty matters, trust matters, and Harry, who willingly tossed both aside, simply can't be trusted again. Camilla has drawn her line in the royal sand, and she's standing firmly behind it. King Charles has built a reputation around his quiet dignity, famously embodying the royal mantra, never complain, never explain. But when Prince Harry's explosive memoir, Spare, hit the shelves, it shattered even Charles' carefully guarded composure. Insiders describe the king's reaction not as rage, but as profound, heart-wrenching disappointment, the kind that cuts deeper than anger ever could. Harry's book portrayed Charles as emotionally cold, distant, and detached, accusations that deeply hurt the king, who insiders say has always quietly strived to keep the family united despite decades of scandals and turmoil. For Charles, being depicted publicly as indifferent and callous by his own son wasn't just an attack, it was an emotional betrayal that damaged the very foundation of their relationship. Yet despite this deep personal hurt, Charles hasn't lashed out. Instead, he's chosen silence, quietly signaling his disapproval by firmly resisting any notion of Harry's return. Palace aides report Charles has been explicit behind the scenes. The monarchy cannot afford the instability Harry represents. The king, focused on establishing stability in the post-Elizabeth era, sees Harry's actions as threatening the careful balance he's worked so hard to maintain. King Charles's disappointment is rooted in more than hurt feelings. It reflects a broader sense of duty. To him, the survival and credibility of the monarchy come first. Harry's path, built on public airing of private grievances, no longer aligns with the king's vision. Charles hasn't loudly condemned his son. His silence, however, speaks volumes. Behind Prince Harry's surprising interest in a royal return might be something far less noble than family bonds. Cold, hard cash. The Sussexes' Hollywood dream, once shining brightly, is now rapidly losing its sparkle. After initially landing lucrative deals with Spotify and Netflix, Harry and Meghan appeared poised for media dominance. But recently, cracks have started to show, and their financial situation has reportedly become increasingly precarious. Spotify abruptly terminated their multi-million-dollar podcast contract, citing creative differences and low listener engagement. Netflix, too, is rumored to be rethinking its expensive partnership. leaving the couple with a dwindling income and mounting bills. Insiders estimate their lavish lifestyle maintaining their sprawling Montecito mansion, extensive security details, PR teams, and private jet travel costs millions annually. And without steady income, those expenses have become nearly impossible to sustain. Meghan's own brand endeavors haven't fared much better. Efforts to reinvent herself as a lifestyle influencer, think Martha Stewart meets royalty, have struggled to gain traction. This financial crunch reportedly has Harry anxious and scrambling. His discreet outreach to Buckingham Palace aides wasn't driven solely by a desire to reconnect. It was a calculated business move. Harry understands the royal connection is invaluable, a lifeline to boost the faltering Sussex brand. Yet his hopes of cashing in on the crown without fully committing to royal duties are now colliding directly with an institution unwilling to accommodate a half-in, half-out prince. Prince Harry's desire to slide back into royal life might be his most unpopular idea yet, at least according to the British public. Recent polls reveal over 70% of people strongly oppose any kind of royal comeback for the prince. The sentiment isn't merely disapproval, it's outright rejection. To many, Harry isn't the beloved, cheeky younger brother anymore. He's become synonymous with betrayal, opportunism, and endless drama. Social media has turned especially ruthless, with hashtags like #NoWayHarry and #RoyalReject gaining viral momentum. Users have not held back, describing Harry's potential return as hypocritical, self-serving, and downright offensive. One particularly popular post summed up the public mood succinctly. You don't throw dirt on the family crest and expect to wear it proudly when your Hollywood dreams collapse. The bitterness from Harry's previous actions still resonates deeply. People vividly remember the Oprah interview, where explosive accusations of royal racism created global headlines. They recall the Netflix documentary and Harry's memoir, Spare, both of which monetized private family pain for personal gain. Many Brits now view Harry not as a victim, but as an opportunist capitalizing on family trauma. Experts suggest Harry miscalculated public tolerance. Initially, many sympathized with his struggles. Now they're exhausted by what feels less like truth-telling and more like attention-seeking. For the British public, trust once broken is nearly impossible to rebuild. And after years of leveraging family dramas for profit, Harry finds himself on the receiving end of a clear, unequivocal public verdict. There's simply no place for him back in the royal fold. Hollywood once embraced Harry and Meghan as royalty-turned-media sensations, handing them lucrative deals worth millions. But now, industry insiders suggest the sparkle around the Sussex brand has significantly dimmed. Major players like Spotify and Netflix initially saw the couple as golden tickets, investing heavily in their potential star power. But the reality proved far less impressive than anticipated. Spotify's dramatic cancellation of Meghan's podcast deal after disappointing listener numbers was the first sign of trouble. Netflix, initially enthusiastic, is reportedly reconsidering its commitment, seeking subtle ways to ease away from future obligations. Executives and producers increasingly view Harry and Meghan not as valuable assets, but as high-risk investments. The issue isn't purely financial, it's reputational. Hollywood thrives on storytelling, but it also values discretion. The Sussexes' relentless airing of private grievances, turning personal relationships into public spectacles, has raised red flags. Producers and industry leaders fear becoming the next target of headline-generating conflicts. Audiences, too, have shifted from curious to weary, increasingly viewing the Sussex narrative as repetitive, self-serving, and exhausting. The fairy tale charm is gone, replaced by an uncomfortable mix of entitlement and grievance. In Hollywood, perception is currency, and right now, the Sussexes' brand has become toxic. For an industry built on image, that's a deal breaker, leaving Harry and Meghan isolated not just from royalty, but from the entertainment world itself. Prince Harry's royal comeback isn't just unlikely, it's virtually impossible. After years of explosive interviews, tell-all memoirs, and headline-chasing media deals, the bridges he once crossed have been reduced to ash. The palace has spoken, through silence, firm refusals, and closed doors. From Prince William's deep betrayal to Queen Camilla's outright rejection and King Charles's quiet heartbreak, the message is clear. Loyalty isn't just expected in the monarchy, it's required. And once broken, it isn't restored with a phone call or a PR campaign. Worse yet, the public has turned. Polls show overwhelming opposition to Harry's return, and social media sentiment ranges from dismissive to outright hostile. The very audience he once captivated now sees his actions as opportunistic, not courageous. And then there's Hollywood. Once his sanctuary, now a spotlight that's dimming fast. The brand once sold as authentic and groundbreaking has become synonymous with exhaustion and controversy. Business deals are evaporating. Producers are backing away. Even curiosity is fading. So now Harry stands in a place no prince wants to be, caught between two worlds that no longer want him. Not the crown, not the cameras. And what was once framed as a bold escape looks more like a cautionary tale. Because in the royal world, reputation is everything, and once it's gone, there's no palace, no contract, and no amount of regret that can bring it back.